Hello and welcome again to some Late Night Magic. I'm playing through the Revenge campaign at the moment, and in the last episode I played, Talrand in Crosswinds. Let's have a look. Yeah, it was a lot more difficult than I actually anticipated. In the main campaign he was absolutely a pushover, but in this Revenge campaign he was a lot more difficult. Now the same can apply to Garrick. And I've forgotten the name of his deck, Pack Instinct, I think? Let's have a look. Okay, so I'll play Exalted Darkness again against Garrick's deck. Yeah, we'll skip his intro. We've already seen that a few times. Let's go straight in. Okie dokie. A lot of mana. Some nice cards in here, but I'll go with it. But if I draw nothing but mana, then it could be a very, very unpleasant game for me. It doesn't really matter what mana I put out, I'll get one of each anyway. Let's see what he can do. He wasn't very impressive in the main campaign, but like I say, this Revenge campaign, the rules seem to have changed. The days of the computer getting a bad draw at all have gone. And they seem to have a different deck as well from the one which you'd see in your own deck manager. So, a plane. And the bird. That's quite a useful one, because it can't block or can't attack, but if he's got a creature that has an ability that needs it to tap, it can still do that. So it doesn't completely destroy the creature, but it can take a big creature out of the game. Okay. Let's continue on. I can't do anything anyway. Let's see what he's going to do. Two mana for a 3/2. Can't complain about that. Already I'm feeling the hurt. Okie dokie. So I can get out my Exalted creature here. This creature isn't quite powerful enough to block that creature. I can attack here with this guy anyway, and I may as well do that, because there's nothing really stopping that, and I'll get a 3. Yeah, 3 on that. 3 damage on him basically, so that's a nice... But I've got this to deal with. I don't want to use this because I don't think that this is going to be the worst thing I'm going to see from this guy. So let's just let him have an attack. As long as I can keep damaging him. 1. What's that 1? Okay, Primordial Hydra enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. So he can only afford 1 counter. What? So at the beginning of your upkeep, double the number of +1/+1 counters on Primordial Hydra. What? That's ludicrously powerful. That's insane. So it gets +1 counter this time. The next turn it'll get 2, then 4, then the green seems to have some mental cards. Okay, so I'm going to have to accept this damage, and his deck's going to get out of control pretty quickly with... That just seems such an overpowered card. I don't... Oh well. Okay, so this is quite nice actually. This is very handy. Another, well, I can get 2 exalted creatures out this turn. Another one of these. I also, of course, not right now, but very soon I'll be able to. Unfortunately, this guy gets 10 counters he can trample. But what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to block with these and regenerate it. As long as I've got the mana to spare. I can't quite afford that. 3. Jeez. More expensive than I'd hoped. I'm not going to bind any creature just yet because God knows what he's going to bring out next turn. But this will be 4 damage on him, so I'm still ahead in the damage race. As long as I stay ahead in the damage race, that's the main thing. Okay, so that's 4 damage. Now this turn, he can do more damage to me by using both these cards. Let's watch this now. This should just be 2. The next turn that'll be 4. Okay, what we got? Timbermore larvae. Bloody Nora! Oh, I just don't understand. These green cards are incredibly powerful. So essentially, this is more powerful than the Exalted deck can put together, really. In the Exalted deck, I'm squabbling together for Exalted permanents, but he just gets +1 for every land he has. So essentially, that's 4 when this attacks. Wow. So I'm up for 5 this turn, and then next turn he's just going to have I just skipped blocking, yeah I did. Let those through. He's only got in with 1, that's a bit strange. Not to worry, doesn't bother me any, that's for sure. That's Exalted as well. I've really... That's going to be a 4 next turn. That's still going to remain a 3, obviously. This is going to be a 4 next turn. That is going to be ridiculous as well. So 6, 7, maybe even 8 if he gets a land card. Let's just read it one more time. Yeah, for every forest he controls, he could easily put 2 land down next turn. So that could be 6, 8. That'll be a 4, 12, and that'll be 15, so that'll be enough to kill me already. The most I can do to him is 5. I'm going to have to pacify... the problem is... I'm going to have to pacify one of his creatures. It's going to have to be that one. That's the most damage. I can get this one out. Yeah, I can't get this one out sadly, and I can't regenerate one of these guys. So I'll get this one out, which will add another 1 to this. I could attack with this. Actually, that might be an option. That definitely could be an option. If I attack with the Servant of Neferox, it'll do 7 damage to him, unless he blocks. So I get the feeling he'll be wanting to block it. And that will kill off one of his creatures. But I then forego doing 5 damage to him. Tough choice. I'm going to have to block with one of these guys anyway. He may get something like a Stampede. I think I've got to do the damage. I think that's the trick with this deck, is you just got to keep the damage going. As long as I keep the damage going on him, then I can win, but if I start to play a control game, he'll just overwhelm me. That's the theory anyway. Okay, let's see. Let's see what he does. This will be a 4 now. Oh, it's a ludicrous card, isn't it? That is so bloody cheap. 3 mana basically he spent on that. Oh god. My god. Alright, okay, so this one is Vigilance, Trample and Undying. Let's read Undying. Okay, right. So when it dies it comes back stronger. Okay, only once though. But that's just nasty, isn't it, really? Okie dokie. Vigilance basically doesn't tap when it attacks. So it can hold up a defense and attack. It's got trample. It's like, thank god it hasn't got haste. Right. Sadly, I can destroy this card here. Tough choice. If I take the damage, then I take 7 life. And that will leave me with 8 life to play with. I'll be dead next turn. I'm gonna basically if I lose one of my exalted creatures, then this is difficult. If I lose one of my exalted creatures, then I'll have no chance of killing him, I don't think. Whereas if I block, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to skip blocking. Let him do the damage. He's got nothing left to do. He's completely tapped out. So he can't suddenly throw a giant growth or anything on me. I'm just going to have to take this. And he's tapped out as well. And he's got no flying blockers up, so this guy can get through. So it's all down to... Okay, so... It's not enough, is it? He's got 8 life. Yeah. This is only a 1/1 creature, and this doesn't actually add any benefit. I think he's won. Basically, this is going to get, including this card here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only 6. I need 2 more life to kill him. So the only guy that could actually do it would be this guy. But he's got way too many blockers up. And this doesn't have trample, so he would block it with this one. No, he couldn't block it with that one. He would have to use this one. But then this would come back stronger. Let's just go back and have a look a second. I don't think it even gets summoning sickness when it comes back. That's the irony. The trample on this one is... That's going to be an 8 creature next turn as well. I think what I've got to do... I think I'm going to have to put this out. Attack with this. And pray that I can survive the next... He won't have trample on that yet, otherwise it would be game over. If he gets a stampede, then yeah, there's nothing I can do. I've only got 8 life. As long as I can survive this coming turn, then I've got a chance. But if he gets a mass trample, then it's all over. This will be 8, not 10, so that's trample, that's trample. Bloody hell. Another evil creature. This one can't block flying though. For a second I thought it was a flying blocker. That would have been painful for me. Yeah, and there's nothing I can do about it, but it can't attack. And he's used all his mana, so all I've got to do is survive this assault. I only need to do 2 damage to him, that's all. Okay, so what do I have to block? I have to block this guy, obviously, and that'll kill one of my guys. I can afford to lose 3 of them, basically, and that's fine, isn't it? That's the biggest risk there, because that's a trample, so that'll let damage through regardless. That's 5 damage. Obviously I can't take the 8, so what will I block with that? Doesn't really matter. I can't regenerate anyway, so I think I'll block the 8. Yeah, it's not trample, thank God. This is trample. So at the moment he's 8 damage coming in. I need to basically block at least 2 of that, so there. Now that's 1 damage from that and 5 from that, 6 damage. That's fine, that's absolutely fine. He hasn't got anything else to play because he's tapped out. So I'm only going to take 6 damage. That leaves me 2. He's got 2 life. I think that is enough. Haha. Woo. Was a bit worried for a second there. Protection from white. Exalted. Yeah. No use whatsoever. But I don't think I need to do anything else here. I think this is it for him. So let's just finish the game off. Come on. Just racking this up for 4. Perfect. Well, to be honest, the only thing that saved my bacon there was the fact he didn't get a flying blocker out, something that could block flying. The one problem I can see with my cut of the Exalted Darkness deck is there isn't enough creatures in there that actually have unblockable or some way of getting through attacks. That would have lost to that. I think the Exalted Darkness deck would have lost more times than 1 against that deck. And again, I mean, this Revenge campaign, the Garrett was way harder than he was in the main campaign. I think it's not that the computer is cheating, I think the deck they've got is just much better. Much better than the one that's actually available to me to play. But that was a lot of fun. I think that's enough for tonight, and until next time, thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.